Builders abandoning the construction sector. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because I want to have a look at this article sent to me by a viewer about a Sunshine Coast builder who's, well, out. He's out. He's abandoning the sector and I don't blame him. It's hard to make a coin. I really get the feeling for some people this is a profitless boom. That's where you're working your ass off. You're so busy, you got no time for your family or to live a comfortable life. And you're not making any more coin, everyone. You're taking on more risk. You may even be losing money. It may be cheaper to go fishing. That's the old saying. It gets to a point when you want to be in a position in your life, just some general advice, and I'm sure a lot of you can agree with me here, where you have enough money where you can step away from these type of situations, where you've got enough passive income coming in or you've got enough reserves built up that you can just, go F you, I'm not doing this, I'm not working for this cheap rate, I'm not going to rush. That's the situation you need to get in. And it takes a bit of time and it's a lesson you have to learn. But in some ways, this is good to see people are being sensible, but let's have a look. I was actually talking to a trade rep from one of the biggest suppliers in the country, and he reckons there's another 12 months of this overheating in just construction demand, particularly for residential, still in the pipeline. So we'll have to see. So I'm out. Award-winning Sunshine Coast builders warning as industry hits a shitstorm. Have I been talking? Yeah, I can use interesting words. It's been a minute into the video. An award-winning Sunshine Coast builder has downed tools for the foreseeable future as an unprecedented crisis delivers a massive financial and personal blow to his industry. In an average year, Jason Bowker of Maroochydore-based Planet Homes would build 5 or 6 luxury homes valued between $800 and $1.5 million. But after completing his final home under construction this year, he will temporarily walk away from a business with a $6 million annual turnover, taking a break of undetermined length and living off some savings. He's no longer prepared to risk being ruined or being unable to meet the expectations of his clients. That's a bit of a warning. A dire sign of what it's like out there, guys. I mean, we've got a lot of people in the construction industry who watch the channel, and I'm sure you could share in the comments stories of just how stuff's getting delayed. I didn't expect to be living in that rental up the road for as long as we have. We've had to keep extending. Now I've had all this insane rain, and it's delaying us on our little tiny job. The house raiser, because we've still got it up on blocks, he's coming past getting all the spare timber he can, the spare blocks he had left on the site, because he's running out, because every house is still stuck in the air, because no one can build because of all the rain, so it's throwing delays everywhere. Just what we need. Mr. Bowsker said that due to the COVID-driven global factors, there was no longer certainty of price when securing materials and labor, and it became impossible to keep up with relentless cost hikes. Stressed out builders of all sizes have been caught out, underpricing, with some going to the wall, others forced to cut back, and others walking away. Now, I'm an architect, and we're not immune to this, but for me, if I underprice the job, that just means I have to work for less. My costs base to produce the content I do, the documentation, it's reasonably fixed. I've just paid a year subscription for the software that I use, or a year rental fee a couple of days ago. And that's pretty much it. Particularly power, that'll fluctuate, but, labor costs, I can just work more. Rental costs, I've gotten rid of that expense. So I've really trimmed down my business to really get tight. But if you're a builder and you're underpricing where you've got all the materials you've got to come in, you've got all the subbies that just refuse to work and say price is going up, then you're, in a mess. Most traditionally expect to wear a 3 to 4% price increase for materials and labor over the period of a building contract, not up to 60%, which is occurring in some cases. The problem isn't the work. The problem is contracting, said Mr. Bowker, who has been building homes in the Sunshine Coast since 1998 and has regional, state, and national awards to his credit. All builders right now are working harder than they've ever worked and earning less than they've ever earned. It's a shitstorm. Planet Homes has been around well over a decade, and I've worked for volume builders before that, so I've been in the industry my whole working life. I've never seen these conditions we're facing now. I've got 2 homes to finish, and when they're done, I won't be signing another contract. I'm going to reassess next year. So he's gonna go stir crazy. Oh shit, the poor bloke. You know the type. He'll go nuts. He'll go nuts. Maybe, hopefully, the missus has a whole wealth of amount of work and projects he's got to do at home. Hopefully, this is the time he finally gets the builder's house finished. You know the whole story. The builder's living in the half-finished house. Hopefully, or I'll just go fishing. Housing Industry Association Chief Economist Tim Reardon said many builders across the country have decided not to take on more work at the moment. They're just working through the body of work they have, he said. That's a terrible situation, particularly on the Sunshine Coast, where there's an enormous rental shortage and an undersupply of homes. But we are finding ourselves in the unique situation where building is becoming not just on the Sunshine Coast, but in every jurisdiction nationally and across all developed economies at the most. Building is booming. We've just had our first recession in 28 years. They pour gasoline on the fire that is the housing sector. And I'll bring this one up. And it keeps defaulting to this one here, the other problem makers. But see the chart down there? That's building approvals. See that line, the light blue line that just spikes right up? That is the surge in building approvals due to government intervention stimulating the housing sector. Now, they weren't doing it to get, the rich people on the Sunshine Coast a new home or a luxury or this or that. They were doing it to stimulate the economy, guys. You've got all these advocates and a lot of architects saying we should have spent it on social housing. That's not the point. It's not about getting people houses. It's about keeping money flowing through the economy. And what they've done is they've overheated the construction sector, and now we're seeing the impact of that. You're seeing builders walking away and just taking a sabbatical. I'd rather see, this is very mature and sensible. I'd rather see this than it just becoming a mess. Those that have been in the industry for decades are certainly familiar with the cycles. This is perhaps the more extreme than usual, but the industry is highly cyclical. Mr. Bowker said he wanted to be confident he could deliver on expectations of completing the job on time, to budget, and to the satisfaction of all. With the current pressures on the construction industry, he lacks that confidence. The break is not retirement or turning his back on building, but simply a hiatus to consider what my options are. I just think I'm making a wise decision right now, Mr. Bowker said, while continuing to work on a job site. Mr. Bowker said the industry's current pricing woes started out 18 months ago, and he could not see the situation improving in the next 12 months. Because he custom builds homes with a relatively high-end architectural finish and detail, a contract that was worth about $2,500 a square meter 18 months ago now would be close to $4,000 a square meter. Such a project could take a year to 18 months from design concept to a detailed quote, price, and construction. The client's budget doesn't change, but in the current climate, prices to the builder could rise exponentially in that time. When you price a job, you don't get to immediately start, Mr. Bowker said. You've got to get council approval, something the owner has, sometimes the owner has, something that they've got to do. They might have to sell their house, or they might have to change of circumstances. You're building a $1.5 million home, and some of the builds are at least 12 months long. Your finished trades are quoting 12 months beforehand. The trades are putting their prices up, say 30%, but you've got much bigger increases from a lot of the national companies. The price of steel has gone from $1,200 to $2,200 a ton, probably more. Raw aluminium to buy has gone up 75%, so that affects all windows and fabrication. Mr. Bowker said labor costs have crept up by about 20 to 30%. If a tiler was laying 6 by 1200 tiles, he might have been laying them from $75 or $85 a square metre 18 months ago. He wants $120 now. Australia was no longer a manufacturing country and at the mercy of national companies relying on materials coming from overseas, he said. There you go. We've talked about this many times on the channel. Our economic complexity is going down. Now you're going to see calls from Labor to bring back manufacturing. Let's see it actually happening. Why? Why would anyone bother investing in manufacturing here in Australia, dealing with all of our wage laws, dealing with increasing power costs, dealing with the not in my backyard council crowd, when you just stick your money in housing? There you go. Okay, so it's all bullshit. It's all bluster and bullshit. They're not going to bring it back. It's not going to work. It's not going to compete with overseas. Sure, you may be able to get some products that could be better, but a lot of them aren't. They'll be more expensive and they'll be less quality. We've lost the skill in many regards. Everyone knows the cost of a container used to be $1,000. I think it's peaked at $18,000, he said. Suppliers have got no choice in terms of price. They're charging because the world economy is impacting on them significantly. There's world's factors, unique factors like COVID, environmental factors, human resources factors. It's literally a perfect storm. The worst scenario I've come across, I've ordered some fabrication in mid-January with a deadline. I'm 4.5 months in and I still haven't seen the product. Such frustrations also impact builder-client relations. How can you continue to contract and have good, meaningful, honest, and open relationships with your client when you're the person they ring for everything to happen and you can't make anything happen, he said. I honestly think builders are all on the verge of nervous breakdowns or financial suicide. Everyone's overcommitted and they're under budgeted. It's horrible. I can't describe it any other way. But Mr. Reardon said the light at the end of the tunnel was that demand remains strong. Last year, 30,000 homes were started in Queensland by comparison with an annual average of 22,000. Yeah, that's the home builder impact right there. We saw that. We saw that in the chart, guys. That's about 36% above the long-term average. The southern migration after COVID restrictions that had added to the population growth in southeast Queensland and the next 10 years in the lead up to the 2032 Olympics would see the period of sustained, strong economic growth likely to continue, he said. Certainly from a builder's perspective, strong sales are necessary in order to be able to sustain their business, he said. For the Sunshine Coast, the fact that there is strong population growth and strong economic activity are all likely to lead to the next decade being a period of strong building activity in the region. So let's have a talk about this. I think we're really seeing a dose of reality from this builder here, stepping away from a frankly overheated market. I'm not surprised. It's kind of worrying, guys. It really is how many people could be in this situation and can't leave, can't step away. How many people are trading while insolvent and are just using the funds from one job to prop up another? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can help out. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband, or contact us if you need any architectural services. Take care, guys. Have a great day. I don't know what to say. This is inevitable, isn't it? An overheating market. It's a bloody mess. That's what it really is. It's just a bloody mess.